Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and I've been covering Warner Brothers Discovery and David Zaslav very closely these last few months. But let's get into what's going on right now. There's billions in more cash. Of what? Of losses at Warner Brothers Discovery. But at the same time, it's not like these losses weren't expected. They have a $2.1 billion loss, but it was mostly due to contributed restructuring charges and write-downs tied to the merger. Everybody knows they canceled Batgirl. They canceled a lot more than just Batgirl. They've laid off tons and tons of people. Disney and the other companies are just trying to catch up with Warner Brothers Discovery right now. All their massive layoffs are behind them. So the $2.1 billion loss that they had just for 3 months, the last quarter of 2022, for them is not really a big deal. They didn't really lose the money. It's as much as they just said, okay, we're getting rid of these people, this junk we don't need like Batgirl, and we're taking that expense. Now that also helps them with taxes. What's interesting is, and it's really only Hollywood Reporter that's talking about how this loss was related to the continued restructuring charges. They don't get a break at CNBC. Disney always gets the break. What's interesting though is Deadline points out really clearly and well how free cash flow is up a lot more than expected at Warner Brothers Discovery. What's free cash flow? It's the cash left over from revenue, all the money they take in, after paying all their financial obligations. They beat the group estimate of analysts at $2.48 billion compared to what they thought would be $784 million. Almost $2 billion more. So they can take a $2 billion expense on all their layoffs and cutbacks and getting rid of people, but they've got an additional $2.48 billion in free cash that they have to use for things like funding movies, doing whatever they want to do with that money. Other media conglomerates like Paramount and Disney have posted negative free cash flow for the latest quarter as they continue to fund their streaming ambitions. Warner Bros. Discovery reported 96.1 million streaming subscribers in its latest quarterly earnings report, up from 94.9 million last quarter. While it still posted streaming losses, the losses in the direct-to-consumer segment were cut by nearly 2/3. The company also beat Wall Street expectations on free cash flow. They didn't cover the free cash flow here, but I just covered it for you from Deadline. And there were signs in the report that streaming losses were poised to turn around relatively soon, with operating expenses in the segment declining double digits over a year-over-year basis. Operating expenses is what it costs for them to run the streaming service. With the restructuring and the write-downs now largely complete, the company is now turning to execution, trying to right the ship in streaming in a push for profitability while trying to keep its linear and theatrical businesses steady. Linear is its cable channels, theatricals movies. Last year was a year of restructuring, and 2023 will be our year of building. Off we go, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav told analysts in the company's earnings call. We have a great hand and we're doing a lot right. That said, there's still more that we need to get right, and we're hard at work. Advertising revenue in fiscal fourth quarter was $2.3 billion, while distribution revenue was $5 billion. The company took $1.2 billion in restructuring costs. The company's linear channels felt the brunt of the advertising business troubles, declining 17% year over year. With other TV channels having the NFL, college football, and the World Cup, some marketers may have shifted spend elsewhere in the quarter. Zaslav said, cyclical headwinds and ongoing secular changes hit the linear ad business, adding that we are still in the early stages of bringing this comprehensive portfolio together. We also made a decision in the upfront to drive price instead of volume. So by this, they asked for higher prices on their advertising, which absolutely made people furious in the industry because Zaslav was saying, no. We're going to charge more and get value out of what we're doing. We're not just going to sell a lot of ad space super cheaply. Still, the networks posted $5.5 billion in revenue and $2.5 billion in profits. And Zaslav also called out CNN, specifically saying, quote, we want it to be the place for fact-based reporting and disclosure with a more inclusive range of voices and viewpoints, citing more than 70 Republicans that appeared on CNN during the House Speaker's race. We must get it right. Nowhere is this more important in my view, and we're on the right path, he added. In streaming, total revenues were $2.5 billion, with the aforementioned $217 million loss. Advertising revenues were up 76% year over year, thanks to more subscribers in its ad-supported tier. The company will roll out its combined HBO Max Discovery Plus service at an event April 12th. We have a clear attack plan where we will drive this across the country and into markets around the world with conviction. It should be noted too that Discovery Plus is supported by Discovery, and Discovery, the company, operates in more than 130 countries with their cable channels. Different branded niche cable channels. They really know how to penetrate like internationally and sell their content. I think they're going to do a great job of this over the next couple of years. And Zaslav confirmed that the company will keep Discovery Plus as a standalone offering. For those that have Discovery Plus right now, churn is very low and it's profitable, Zaslav said. For those who are happy paying $5 or $7, our strategy is no sub left behind. We have profitable subscribers that are very happy with the offering of Discovery Plus. Why would we shut that off? Which is a great move, because if you have Discovery Plus, if you want to keep it, great. I'm sure there'll be all kinds of marketing to get you to sign up to HBO Max, and they will use that to drive even more business in the future. And the company will eventually launch its own free ad-supported streaming service. We can create a Tubi or Pluto without buying content from anybody, Zaslav said. That's what they call a fast streaming service, free advertising supported TV. The studio division had revenues of $3.8 billion and posted a profit of $768 million. Warner Bros. Discovery CFO Gunnar Wiedenfeld said that the company is also looking into selling potential assets. Do not expect them to sell the Snyderverse. They are not selling it. These are some opportunities that I'm looking at below deck, he said in a response to an advertiser question, with Zaslav adding that any sales would be non-strategic sales. So they're not selling anything that they really need. And Wiedenfeld said the company now sees $4 billion in cost savings tied to the Warner Media merger, double its original estimate of $2 billion. The company sounds like it's doing pretty well. I like the free cash flow focus, and that's very much in contrast to companies like Disney and Paramount that are just focused on whatever accounting games they're doing and trying to increase the number of subscribers they have. Now you have basically Bob Iger trying to chase the Zaslav strategy, and good luck to him for that. Warner Brothers made a number of interesting announcements as well. One of the announcements they made was that they're going to be doing new Lord of the Rings movies. Those are in the works at Warner's new line right now. They already have a deal with Swedish gaming giant Embracer Group, who actually owns Dark Horse Comics, believe it or not, and a bunch of other video game companies. An interesting company. And this is exactly what Zaslav said he wanted to do. He said he wanted to build their franchises and he wanted to leverage franchises because they make the most money. Lord of the Rings did very well for them before. It'll do very well for them again. Speaking of franchises, Warner Bros. Discovery also announced that games are core to their strategy as Hogwarts Legacy sells 12 million units in 2 weeks. That's a lot of money. Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav called games core to the merged company's strategy as its latest Hogwarts Legacy. The open-world action role-playing game has sold more than 12 million units and hit $850 million in sales globally and 280 million hours played in its first 2 weeks of launch. That confirms the open-world action role-playing game as a major hit for Warner Brothers Games. As the only studio scaled in gaming, we see it as a meaningful differentiator and a substantial opportunity, Zaslav said on a call after the media giant's quarterly earnings. The release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC surpasses all the company's previous game launches, exceeded sales records across 3 platforms where it's currently available. It's become the biggest single-player game ever on Twitch, with 1.28 million peak concurrent viewers at launch, the company said. The release has also seen an increase in overall global franchise fan engagement with the IP, with Wizarding World Digital garnering 300% higher traffic over the normal monthly unique visitor average for the first 10 days of February. We are so thrilled and proud to see the player response to Hogwarts Legacy from gamers, fans who are new to gaming, and reviewers around the world, said David Hadd, president Warner Brothers Games. Our development team at Avalanche delivered an amazing high-quality Wizarding World experience that truly fulfills the fun fantasy life at Hogwarts, and our publishing teams have executed a globally impactful launch campaign. Hogwarts Legacy was developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Brothers Games under the Portkey Games label. Based on J.K. Rowling's blockbuster Harry Potter franchise, the game invites players on a journey as a fifth-year student at Hogwarts, able to tap into ancient powerful magic. Fans are guided by the Wizard's Field Guide and unique instruction from professors and other characters. Zaslav said the game's release had been delayed by several months to get it right, and it's part of the push to mine IP across the merged company, from the new Lord of the Rings movies announced today to DC superhero. It seems like they've got this pretty well figured out. Now they just have to keep working hard and doing good content. They have lost billions more, but it's part of the charges and expenses of getting rid of people and things they no longer want. Their free cash flow is up substantially, and their debt is down. Where's their debt at? Their debt is actually down to $45.5 billion, with $3.9 billion cash on hand. And during the fourth quarter, the company repaid $1 billion in debt and has repaid $7 billion total since April. So if anyone thinks that Warner Bros. Discovery is going to have a problem paying off their debt, It's all, by the time people are done complaining about them not paying off their debt, it will all have been paid off. They just have to keep grinding, working hard, and they need to make sure that they put out quality content. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Are you impressed with Warner Bros. Discovery, what they're doing with Hogwarts Legacy? Are you impressed with the Lord of the Rings announcement? There were other announcements. There's other things that they're doing. I will do additional videos on this. You know that. But let me know what you're excited about with Warner Bros. Discovery, or definitely let me know what you criticize about Warner Bros. Discovery. I get plenty of that as well in the comments below, and I do appreciate all your comments, and I really appreciate you. Please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.